Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I hope you are well. If you like the video, please subscribe and stay tuned for new videos. Stream Baylen Out Loud Season 2 new episode tonight for free. During counseling, the therapist throws a wrench in Colin's plan to confront Alan in a new episode of Baylen Out Loud airing on Tuesday, November 11th. The new episode will air at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on TLC. Those without cable can watch the show for free through Philo or DirecTV, each of which offers a free trial to new users. Sling is another option for streaming the show, and promotional offers are available. Baylen Dupree first became well known on TikTok for sharing her experience with Tourette syndrome. Despite her daily challenges, Baylen and her family aren't afraid to laugh and embrace the chaos that makes their everyday lives in West Virginia unique, according to a description from TLC. With Baylen yearning for independence, she'll need to rely less on her family as she takes steps toward being in the world on her own. The 22-year-old has grown a huge following on both her TikTok, 9.8 million followers, and Instagram, 1.2 million followers, pages, where she shares what it's like living with HerTics, and the world has grown to love her. The 22-year-old has grown a huge following on both her TikTok, 9.8 million followers, and Instagram, 1.2 million followers, pages, where she shares what it's like living with HerTics, and the world has grown to love her. In the new episode, during counseling, the therapist throws a wrench in Colin's plan to confront Alan. Baylen and Colin fall in love with a wedding venue, but when they see the Dupree backyard transformed for the engagement party, they second-guess everything. Here's a look at the new season so far from TLC's YouTube channel. Watch TLC's Baylen Out Loud on Philo with a 7-day free trial. Watch TLC's Baylen Out Loud on DirecTV with a 5-day free trial. How can I watch Baylen Out Loud without cable? Those without cable can watch the show for free through Philo or DirecTV, each of which offers a free trial to new users. Sling is another option for streaming the show, and promotional offers are available. What is Philo? Philo is an over-the-top internet live TV streaming service that offers 70-plus entertainment and lifestyle channels, like AMC, BET, MTV, Comedy Central and more, for the budget-friendly price of $28 per month. What is DirecTV? The streaming platform offers a plethora of content including streaming the best of live and on-demand, starting with more than 75 live TV channels. What is Sling? Sling TV is the first app-based TV service letting you stream live television and on-demand content over the internet. With Sling TV, you get to choose the television option that's right for you, including channel add-ons, premiums add-ons, DVR Plus and more. TLC's Baylen Out Loud star Baylen Dupree says it bothers her when fans mimic her tics. Baylen Dupree wandered through the residential streets of Los Angeles near Melrose in search of a spot to snap a few Polaroids, her fiancé Colin Dooley and her sweet dog Fluffy in tow. The photos would be for this story, just one stop on a press tour for her TLC show, Baylen Out Loud, which follows Dupree and her family as they navigate the everyday highs and lows of her life with Tourette syndrome. It being across the country from her Washington, D.C. home, searching for a location to shoot photos to promote her hit show weren't surreal enough, Dupree unexpectedly crossed paths with none other than Lisa Rinna, formerly of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, out walking her dog, too. It's a strange, only in LA moment, as if Hollywood itself is rolling out the red carpet for Dupree. It's almost too much to take in, especially for someone who, just 4 years ago, was struggling to walk, talk, and even feed herself. Dupree was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome at 18, but had a history of ticking, involuntary repetitive movements or sounds, since the age of 7. She struggled with tics a bit in her childhood, but they subsided almost completely until she was 16. During her teen years, Dupree's tics started off mild, but became more intense as she developed coprolalia, a rare symptom of Tourette's that manifests with outbursts of obscene or inappropriate language. It was a difficult time, marked by confusion from both her family and doctors. The not knowing was the hardest part, Dupree recalls during a Zoom interview from her apartment in D.C., a month before we meet in person in Los Angeles. It was during the COVID lockdown that Dupree's symptoms became debilitating. I basically hid from everybody. I did online school for the rest of the year. I just became really insecure with myself. I was in therapy 3 to 4 times a week, she says. Instead of going back to school when lockdown was over, Dupree says she found it easier to hide her diagnosis and not reintroduce herself to her schoolmates for fear of being looked at as different. She didn't even walk in her high school graduation, a milestone she always assumed she'd be able to celebrate. A brief attempt at college was cut short by HerTics and a general lack of support in school. Dupree looks back solemnly at this dark chapter in her life. I didn't want to be alive. It was the worst of the worst. I couldn't walk. I barely left the house, she says. It was just the worst point in my entire life. But now, Dupree is the star of the TLC show that carries her name, and she's widely recognized as an advocate for those with Tourette syndrome. She lives in her own apartment with her fiancé. We saw them get engaged on the show, and she's living the life of a reality star. On the show, viewers watched Dupree accomplish a series of things she'd worried she never could, traveling on an airplane, speaking on a panel, and living independently, to name a few. For Dupree, it all came down to a choice: she could keep hiding, or she could live her life out loud. At the height of her symptoms, an old high school classmate saw Dupree in a grocery store and filmed her ticking. That's all I thought about the rest of the day, she says. It was that harrowing episode that prompted Dupree to make a TikTok of her own, setting the record straight and publicly revealing her struggle with Tourette syndrome. For her, it wasn't just about sharing the truth, it was about reclaiming her agency and refusing to hide any longer. I could only hide for so long before I started hating myself, Dupree says. I hated myself for so long, because I did not want to be who I was. On social media she could be 100% authentic. As she learned more about her disorder, she'd share it with her growing TikTok following, which to date has reached over 10 million followers. Looking back at those frightening days when she had no answers, sharing her story and other information on Tourette syndrome on a larger scale helped her process that trauma. Now, she feels like it's her purpose. In fact, Dupree drops in facts about Tourette syndrome during the course of this interview. 50% of people go undiagnosed with Tourette's. For God to be using me in this way and being this vessel for so many people is the biggest blessing in my life, she says. Because that's the only thing I want out of it, other than Tourette's awareness, is for somebody to feel like they're heard, and they're seen, and they have a community. I could only hide for so long before I started hating myself. After revealing her diagnosis, Dupree started posting videos about her life with Tourette's and her day-to-day struggles during the pandemic. These videos were raw and honest, and sometimes as simple as showing what it's like to bake a cake while living with Tourette syndrome. By sharing her everyday moments, like cooking or just getting through a typical day, she made her condition feel relatable. It wasn't just about her Tourette's, it was about her real, unfiltered life. This fueled her TikTok's viral success, but as her tics worsened, there was speculation in the comments that she was faking it, leading her to pivot to be even more honest and open about her condition. This honesty and her burgeoning social following also caught the attention of executives at TLC, who offered her and her family a television show documenting her life at an up-close and deep level. Though she feels sharing her story is her purpose, Dupree says it wasn't an easy decision to make to air her whole life on television. Posting on TikTok is one thing, but the massive mainstream reach of a network like TLC is a different animal altogether. Though Dupree was used to social media scrutiny, she says that her family were less comfortable with that aspect of being in the public eye. Ultimately, though, the family got on board. We came to this conclusion where it's like, let God use us. We know that this is bigger than my siblings, this is bigger than me, Dupree says. This is for the tic community. The show primarily follows Dupree, but her parents and siblings are a big part of her life, and therefore a big part of the show. Dupree's parents, Alan and Julie, guide her in her journey toward independence and grapple with their own fears about her gaining it. Dupree's 5 siblings, Vic, Sammy, Sven, Burke and Beckner, often appear with her in straight-to-camera interviews, cracking jokes and gently prodding one another in a pretty typical sibling fashion. Dupree explains that she and her family had some trepidation at the start of production because they were entrusting TLC with not just their complex story, but the Tourette's community at large. In Hollywood, Tourette syndrome doesn't look good, Dupree says, citing the 1997 film Niagara. But she speaks highly of how the first season played out and the care and attention production took into telling her story. Baylen Out Loud is a hit for a reason, and it clearly resonated with its audience, as the series garnered 14.7 million viewers in the month after its premiere. Part of that success is likely the show's unflinching and realistic portrayal of living with Tourette's. In an episode where Dupree and her mother Julie attend TICCON, the official conference for the Tourette Association of America, Dupree goes through a severe tic attack that leaves her incapacitated on the floor of a hotel. It's difficult to watch, especially considering the attack occurred after such an incredible day when Dupree spoke on the dais with other panelists, a public speaking achievement that felt nothing short of a miracle for her. There are tense moments and struggles because those are part of Dupree's journey. But the majority of the show is light-hearted, which Dupree attributes to her family quite literally laughing in the face of adversity. We try to find humor in a lot of the things that I do because there are a lot of things I say that are funny, Dupree says. Dupree is talking about her vocal tics, some of which are hard not to giggle at. There are some quite complicated ones that invoke Joe Biden and the Revolutionary War, and other more racy ones that can be sexually explicit. Dupree explains that those more inappropriate vocal tics come from growing up with 4 brothers who yell at each other playing video games. As much as she knows the audience is laughing with her, Dupree has noticed a perhaps well-intentioned phenomenon that doesn't feel good. I've had people come up to me and say my tics, she says, referencing viewers approaching her in person and mimicking some of her common verbal tics. I don't like being acknowledged by my ticking. That just makes me tick more. She wants it to be clear that what she says on the show are not catchphrases, they are not fair game to mimic because she's on television. It's the product of her Tourette syndrome, and mimicking them would be like mocking anyone with a neurological disorder or disability. And though her family does laugh at some of her tics, they know when to draw the line, and viewers should too. You've got to read the room, she says. If I'm smashing my head off the table, maybe